Awesome. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time and joining this webinar today. I am Supriya, and I manage product marketing at Multiplier, and I will be your host for today. We are here to discuss a super interesting topic, which is on embracing crypto payments and the flexibility it offers for global talent. This webinar is in collaboration with AAA, which is a crypto payment gateway that's licensed by Monetary Authority of Singapore, Central Bank of France, and regulated by FinCEN. A little bit about Multiplier is that we are an employer of record solution that enables people or companies to onboard, manage, and pay employees across the globe without essentially having to set up a legal entity. Uh, our partnership with AAA is essentially to sort of support companies to have crypto as a critical mode of payment as well for both employers and employees. Businesses today can pay their employees and freelancers in cryptocurrencies via Multiplier without actually having to hold cryptocurrency themselves. And similarly, Web3 companies can fund their Multiplier account with cryptocurrency, which can then get transferred to fiat currency for payments to employees and freelancers. We have with us today two established panelists, Eric Barbier, who's the founder of AAA, and Vamsi, who's the CPO and co-founder at Multiplier. Eric, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself quickly?
Sure. Great for inviting me to this show. I'm Eric. I'm the CEO of AAA. I'm based in Singapore, where I started the company. Before starting AAA, I was the founder of a company called Tunes, which is doing cross-border payments, in particular with emerging markets.
Awesome. And Vamsi, would you like to go ahead as well?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Supriya. So, hey everyone, my name is Vamsi. I am a co-founder at Multiplier and currently the chief product officer here. I think Supriya already gave all of us a quick background on Multiplier. My role specifically here is revolving around our products and technologies. I closely work with all of your engineering and product teams to make sure that we are building all that our customers want in their global hiring needs.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And just to ensure this webinar is engaging, we don't necessarily want it to be a monologue. We have a few questions that will come out as polls as well through this webinar, wherein we can hear your thoughts and opinions as well on this topic. Great. So that brings me to the set of questions that I have today. Eric, I think I'll probably start off with the first question towards you. What are your thoughts on integrating crypto payments for companies that have a global workforce?
So what we've seen is that more and more people, in particular in emerging markets, in particular freelancers, intellectual professions, are using crypto to get paid. As you know, in many emerging markets, it's pretty difficult to keep US dollars because it gets automatically converted into the country's currency. And so that's why more and more people are using crypto and more stable coins like USDT or USDC in order for them to be able to keep this value in USD denominated account. And so that they can then therefore be able to purchase from an international vendor or convert it to the local currency as and when they need that. So now with over 400 million people around the world who are using crypto, it has become something as big as PayPal. So that's what more and more people should pay attention to it.
That's awesome. And I think an interesting insight or a statistic I also noticed was that a survey that AAA conducted showed that 61% of freelancers across 11 countries own a cryptocurrency, which also talks to the volumes that this currency is sort of gaining popularity and stuff like that. Vamsi, for you, I think, why do you think freelancers want to be paid in crypto today?
Right. I think it's we have been seeing a very interesting trend in the recent years. Even when we launched crypto payments along with our partnership with AAA, we have seen a steady increase in the number of freelancers who are opting for getting paid in crypto. So our understanding is that there are obviously multiple reasons, multiple benefits to getting paid in crypto. But the first and foremost, in my opinion, the one of the biggest factors is the access to global opportunities. So fiat kind of limits the opportunities that you can go after. You will have to worry about whether you can receive money from a particular country. You have to worry about opening a USD bank account if the local currency isn't supported by your employer, and n number of other limitations that you may face, including and not limited to bankings and regulatory limits. But having crypto as a payment option really enables you to get employed anywhere in the world. There is no restriction. There are very limited restrictions compared to your traditional fiat models. So that really opens up your talent pool for companies, and that really opens up the network of opportunities that you can go after as a freelancer when you are providing your services. So, in my opinion, I think this is one of the biggest factors that is driving the crypto adoption today.
Nice. So just to get all of your opinion as well, who are in the webinar about this topic, we'll post a poll question on why do you think is the key benefit of getting paid in crypto, and feel free to share your opinions and thoughts as well. Uh, Eric, another question to you is that based on your experience, do you necessarily see a specific cryptocurrency that's more commonly used for freelancer payments, and why do you think that is?
So as I mentioned earlier, what we're saying is people are using more and more stable coins. The most well-known being USDT and USDC, which are backed one for one by their respective issuers, and so as such, they are usually 99.99% of the time they are pegged to the US dollar. There's been a couple of incidents in the past with all the banking issues in the US, but that was just for a couple of hours. So that's really what most of the people are using, especially in this freelancer type of payments. There are still people who are using the traditional crypto, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it's usually for lower amounts, and we've seen really a lot of increase on the stablecoin side.
Got it. And we'd also love to hear from all of you in this webinar on how many requests you've received from freelancers to get paid in crypto, and if you've ever started to receive them at all. Eric, another sort of follow-up to that is, what do you see as some common challenges that companies may face when they're transitioning to crypto payments?
So it's the great thing, and that's the way Multiplier has implemented that actually you can make it simple for the freelancer and for you, is that you don't really have to worry. Say you have to pay $1,000, it's and so the freelancer, when he wants to withdraw this money, will decide on which method he likes better, and so he can use maybe traditional bank transfer, maybe a wallet, or crypto. But maybe Vamsi can say even more how it works on your platform.
No, thanks so much, Eric. A couple of topics that I was also thinking about. Like, firstly, regarding the stable coins that Eric was talking about earlier. If you think about it, stable coins, especially when you're thinking of drawing your paycheck in crypto, stable coins provide you the best of both worlds. They don't have the kind of volatility that are associated with traditional coins, but at the same time, you don't have to worry about transaction fees when you're transferring stable coins across borders. If you were to transfer fiat, especially USD, the associated SWIFT charges can go up to 150 US dollars per transaction, depending on where you are. But with stable coins, you can completely avoid all of that. You can receive everything as is, and even faster than if you would receive fiat in any normal day. Right? So I totally echo Eric's thoughts on stablecoins. They are some of the most attractive form of payment option for crypto payouts.
Nice. I think.
And just regarding the payout processing, so having a platform like Multiplier definitely helps companies sort of like avoid a lot of legal and administrative burdens, and for freelancers as well to sort of like avoid having to run around with various payment institutions trying to collect your paycheck. Everything can be done on one platform for both the employer and the freelancer. Really frees up the time it takes for settling your paychecks, because we take care of all the compliance checks, all the legal contracts issues, the payment initiation, payment tracking, payment bounces. All of that will be tracked and monitored by us. So we really take out all of that administrative burden, so that companies and freelancers can just focus on like the most important stuff, which is like actually working together.
Awesome. I think you both highlighted challenges and how they can be overcome as well, which is super useful and actionable for a lot of companies who've joined us today. Vamsi, the regulatory landscape is complex and it keeps changing, right, all the time for crypto payments. How do you think companies can ensure, they're compliant and they can navigate through this?
I think very important question. So thanks, Supriya. The first and foremost, I would say is that uh, crypto laws, yes, they do change, but the good payment companies out there, they actually keep up with them, and they actually get the relevant licenses to be able to do this. Right. One of the primary reasons for us to pick AAA is that Eric and team, they put a lot of effort into getting the necessary licenses in the beginning, and they are licensed by Mars in Singapore. So that's, I would say, the number one factor when you are deciding whether or not to go down the crypto route. Are you working with a partner who has the necessary licenses? And obviously, the second is that are you working with a company who is an expert when it comes to international labor law compliance? So, an employer of record like Multiplier, with our presence in about 150 countries, we have built the expertise that is required at every country for us to be able to operate in that country. We have our own entity in that country, our own bank account. We have digitized all the compliance laws and requirements of each country into our platform, so everything is self-serve. So our team constantly is on top of any and all changing compliance laws, and we always proactively make sure that our clients are following those when they are hiring. So these are some of the things I would say a customer should be looking out for.
Yeah, again, super actionable points, right? So that it's not very easy and it's not very hard and cumbersome for somebody who's this out the first time. Uh, Eric, also, just to sort of get your opinion, how does incorporating crypto payments sort of impact the accounting and financial reporting in a company, because that also needs to be taken into consideration.
Sure, that's a very important point. And everything we do is to make sure that our clients never have to understand or see crypto. So at no point in time, our clients are holding crypto on their balance sheet. So they're never taking any kind of volatility risk or custody risk. So they have a liability in dollars, in euros, whatever currency, and that's the liability they have, and they don't have to worry about holding crypto on their balance sheet at any time on that. And the other thing that they don't have to worry about, and as we were speaking about compliance and regulation, is that people have this false impression that crypto is fully anonymous and so on. It's not really true. And what we're doing is, before we're releasing a transaction, we're actually going to have a look at the wallet itself, the crypto wallet, And because you can trace all the transaction that specific wallet has been doing on the blockchain, we're able to detect and block transaction which might be linked to terrorist financing, dark web, or which are at least linked to sanctions. And so that's very important to make sure that to shield our clients from all those risks.
Awesome. I think the security aspect is very key, and that's something that you highlighted really well as well. Uh, Vamsi, do you think multiplier is perceived differently today? Because after enabling crypto payments as an option, especially for freelancers and employees?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think we are definitely seen as a more progressive solution out in the market uh, because of some of the options like crypto payments that we have enabled, especially with the more tech savvy user base. It's very important for them to have that flexibility because they tend to be early adopters of various different technologies like crypto, for example. So it's that really helped us sort of uh, create that perception that Multiplier is a forward-looking company, and we have definitely seen the kind of freelancers who have started using Multiplier. The technology sector, especially, it has definitely grown once we launched crypto.
Awesome. We'd also love to hear from all of you in the webinar as to, if you're interested in using a user-friendly solution to again pay your freelancers and employees. We'll post that as a poll, so do share in your thoughts and opinions as well. For me, at least, this has been super insightful and useful as a session. But I do have, one last question for both of you before we close out. As business leaders, what do you think is the impact of crypto payments on companies like ours and other companies that have a global workforce? And typically, how do you think businesses can effectively adapt and prepare for it in the future as well? Eric, would you like to go first?
Happy to do so. Yeah, I think cryptocurrency, digital assets in general, are solving two main pain points that we're having in the traditional cross-border payment world. One of them is the risk of fraud or chargebacks. So the beauty with crypto is that you are guaranteed to get paid. And the second problem, especially when you compare it to Swift, as Vamsi put it across very clearly, is that the fees and the time it takes to have a Swift payment to clear is way too long for many people. So I cannot wait. So many people cannot wait 4 or 5 days to get their paycheck. And so that's the impact which we're seeing, whether it's a payment to a freelancer. More and more people are using it for business to business payments, and I think we've just started to scratch the surface.
Awesome. Vamsi, how do you think it impacts companies with a global workforce?
Right. I think it's something that I see as a must-have in a company's toolkit, especially if they are interested in building a more global and distributed workforce. You know, one recent example that comes to mind is like one of our clients. They have a few employees who are actually designers working on a freelance project uh, in one of the countries where it's a little difficult to transfer money to. It has traditionally been a little difficult, and there were way too many intermediary banks through which the money was being routed, and no matter how many times we sent the payout, it kept getting stuck somewhere. And the sad part is that we didn't even know where it was stuck and why it was stuck, because the legal and all the paperwork was correctly filed, and it used to work before, but it suddenly stopped working, and we still haven't figured it out. But what we did was we simply made a crypto payment in that particular situation, and the payments were done in a matter of minutes actually, and it was done through USDC, which is a stable coin. So there was not no volatility to be worried about as well. So these are the kind of things, like let's say you want to really expand your workforce and really hire the best person for the job regardless of where they are at. You have to figure out ways to actually make sure your employment relationship, your payroll is smooth. Otherwise things will fall apart and you won't be able to get the best talent you want. So my understanding, my current understanding, and how I look at the future is that the more companies can be progressive about how to pay their employees, the easier it will be for them to hire the best people that they want to hire, and it can actually become a strategic advantage in growing their business.
Awesome. I think the real life example you shared was super useful for everybody to understand the problem straightforward. So I think that sort of brings me to the closing part of this session. Uh, Thank you again for all of you, to all of you for joining the session, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you have about AAA or multiplier, and also arrange any consultation sessions or demos if you'd like to sort of attend. We'll be sharing the link on the chat box so that you guys can click and engage with the links, as well as understand how the product is sort of working in collaboration with AAA to offer these payments. So thank you all once again for joining this. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Vamsi, for sort of sharing super useful insights. And see you all. Have a good day.